everybody. We are back with episode 2 of the I Want It All podcast, a place where we have real conversations about life, faith, business, all the things, and not just wanting it all, but actually having the audacity to go for it all. Because you know what? I believe that you can have it all. I don't believe there's any limitations in this life, and I've made it a point to go for it all, and I want you to do it too. So make sure, if you haven't already done it, like and subscribe. Do I sound like a YouTuber? Subscribe below. Make sure you click the link and subscribe. And also, did you see episode 1? What do you think? Comment. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your feedback. And moreover, I would love to know if there's something you want me to touch on. What do you want me to talk about? Let me know. Anyways, without further ado, I'm excited to get in today's episode. We're back with Power of the Pivot Part 2. I decided to continue this conversation because I feel like there's so much to really talk on and touch on with this idea. In episode 1, I opened up and talked about my journey in just pivoting in different sectors of my life, knowing when it's time to pivot, knowing when it's time to make a move, what your next steps are. And if you follow me, you guys know I am literally smack dab in the middle of one of the greatest pivots of my life. I'm closing my boutique after 12 years, and I'm launching out into life again. So we talked about that in episode 1, but for this episode, I decided to bring on one of my good girlfriends to continue this conversation with us. She is none other than the Drea Nicole.
Not the Drea Nicole.
If you don't know who she is, well, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and toot her horn because she's not going to toot it as much as I will. But Drea is a renowned celebrity photographer. She has literally shot, we keep saying she's shot everybody except Beyonce, and that's going to be knocked off soon. It's going to be like, who else is there to shoot? You can't shoot Michael Jackson. He's gone to glory.
I might.
I mean, there might be pictures in heaven. But hey, Drea.
Hi.
I'm so glad to have you on.
You know, first of all, okay, you got a podcast.
I know. How long did we talk about this?
I feel like we've been talking about this shoot after shoot after shoot.
Yes.
And you
so
literally did it.
Yeah. And so, guys, disclaimer, I'm Drea's favorite client.
She says it.
She's not going to tell anybody that for whatever reason, but I feel like at this point I've earned that right because I thought about it today. Mm-hmm. So the first time Drea shot me, it was for my 30th birthday. Yes, it was my 30th birthday shoot. Remember I had
which
on
one?
Those gold thigh-high boots?
Oh, that was the first one?
Yes.
That was actually one of my favorites.
That was my 30th birthday.
Oh, my God.
And since then, I have not dealt with another photographer since then. Honor me. Come on.
You ain't shot with not another photographer?
Not a single photographer. My cousin came and did something for the boutique one time. Show me a picture where I shot with another photographer.
Well,
honor me.
You're very far and few.
Come on, lift me up.
You good. I like
Give me
that.
praise.
Because sometimes, but you know what? Because sometimes people be like, oh, this is it. I'm not shooting with nobody else. I'd be like, yes.
And see, you know, the
5 minutes later.
I never said that, but I really haven't shot with anybody else. But I'm loyal by nature.
But people say that. People will say that.
Yeah.
I have camera footage of people saying that, and they off shooting with amazing photographers.
Yeah,
amazing photographers. But
well, I once I went Drea, I never went back.
Period.
So
once you come over here,
I never went back.
Or they go and they come back.
Right, and I wasn't gonna do that. I wanted to come back home like a dog. But so the reason why I decided to have you on today is because you have a really, really amazing story. Like most people know you because of your work and they see all these people that you've worked with and you know they're like, wow, she has this amazing career. But as I've kind of gone from client to friend over the years, I've been able to kind of get a sneak peek into your journey. And a lot of people don't realize your journey like really came with a major pivot. You launched out on faith. You built this amazing career. And I want people to see another example of a person that stepped out on faith, said, you know what, I want to do something different, you know, and I want them to see that it's possible. So let's get into that. Like, take me all the way back. Like, who is Drea? Where's she from? You know, how, life was going, and then you decided I want to do something else. So, like, take me all the way back.
Okay. So, the girl from Newport News, Virginia.
Y'all got
There is
y'all have
there is
dating
there is
signs?
there is nothing.
got
Well, the bad news is what they call it.
Bad news.
Bad news.
I saw that recently in the Allen Iverson
Yes.
documentary.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we got Allen Iverson, we got Michael Vick, we got some good people, Missy
bad boy-
Elliott's, we got
Missy
we
Elliott. I
got
was
some
about
good
to say,
people down there.
the
Virginia.
bad boys.
Coco's, we got the Tweets, we got the
Okay. And
Chris Brown is like, he further down. He maybe like an hour and a half away, but he Virginia too.
Okay.
And they got me.
Okay. And the Drea Nicole.
Look, and they got me. So I'm from Newport News, Virginia. And honestly, I'm gonna go forward. So Newport News, Virginia, and my background ended up being like in help desk and database administration. I'm an IT geek. Like, I'm a nerd.
Wow.
I'm a nerd. So I was doing that, but in high school, I always had this weird like obsession with imagery. Magazine. Back in the day we had Jet on your grandma's table.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Like, and I always was drawn to like imagery, acting. I don't never look at shows or movies and like look at it from the whole picture. I'm like, oh, they're acting really well. Oh, that looks really good.
You know what I just thought about? I'm going to pause you. I forgot to tell y'all.
What?
Drea, this is the beautiful thing about a creative. Creatives can do so many different things. Drea is a singer and has a whole single. Drea has a whole single music video.
Listen, I dibble and dabble in a lot of
all the
things.
things. I forgot about that until you just said that the acting thing. I'm like, wow, like she's a total creative.
Like I literally, but back then I didn't know what any of that meant. You know what I mean? Because coming from where I'm from, we don't hear about people doing like acting and photography and that
Right.
type of stuff. So that wasn't in my forefront of my mind when I wanted to say like, oh, what do I want to do when I grow up? I wanted to be a nurse, know? So, graduated from high school and I ended up going into the IT field. Got fired. And, one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to the New York Film Academy. You don't know nothing about it. I went to the New York Film Academy for like 3 months, and I studied acting. I know, can't you tell? I did. I studied. Yeah. So I studied acting for 3 months in New York City. I hated living in New York. I did. I'm not a New York liver type of girl, but I was there in Queens for like 3 months, did the New York Film Academy, and I really thoroughly enjoyed the acting scene, So I did that, went back home to DC. At that time, I lived in DC, and I went back into the IT field, but then it was like, okay, my friend, she was an actress. No, she was a singer. And so I went with her to her photo shoot. And so I was like watching her, and I was like, okay, I kind of think I want to do a photo shoot now, So I contacted a photographer. I did a photo shoot, and I really enjoyed being in front of the camera. But I'm also shy. Do you know that about me?
No.
What? I am actually a shy person. Seriously.
But you know what? I can believe that because people don't believe me when I say I'm actually like really shy.
Yeah, like
I'm an extroverted introvert.
I'm an introvert extrovert.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So do you present introverted?
I present extroverted, but I'm
so you're an extroverted introvert.
I'm an introvert first, but then I extrovert sometimes.
But you're one of us. Like
no, I'm one of me.
You're naturally introverted.
Yeah,
but you have a big. You're one of.
So why
us.
why does it have to be extroverted introverted and not introverted extroverted?
Drew, you about to make my.
I'm just saying.
An extroverted introvert is somebody who's naturally an
extrovert.
Introvert. No,
that goes introverted at some times.
Yeah,
but I'm naturally introverted, but then I have extrovert tendencies.
Yeah, so you're an extroverted introvert. You're naturally an introvert.
Okay.
And you can put on extrovert.
We're going to Google this later.
You have a big, well, ask chat.
All right. Or Claude.
Right, exactly. Because that's the smart one.
So, yes. So when I did the photo shoot, that was a way for me to be able to be in front of a camera and not have to do a lot of talking. but just be pretty, you know?
Mhm.
So I kind of did that for a while. And then I get pregnant.
Mm.
So I get pregnant with my daughter. And when I got pregnant with her, I was like, okay, I need to take her pictures, mommy things. You get, you
Mhm.
have a baby, you want to take your baby pictures. So
And this is still like digital camera era, or like we're on camera phones now?
were we on camera phones? That's like 2010. So yeah, we was on camera phones,
Yeah, but
right?
they were just like. So when you started taking pictures for your daughter, though, I'm like, are you taking with a camera, or are
It was
you
with a
still just
camera.
like, okay?
It was with the camera. And so I was taking her pictures, and I'm like, man, these pictures started to look kind of good. And so we was in Instagram era.
Mhm.
So I kept coming across Derek Blanks,
Okay.
and by this time he was like the it photographer in Atlanta. He's Housewives of Atlanta. And so I started watching like everything that he was posting, but I'm more so looking at what he's using. And
Mm.
so I went and I just started buying all of this equipment. Still in my IT field, I'm buying all of this equipment. And so come Christmas, I get laid off.
Mm.
2013. Was it 2013? Yes, 2013. Get laid off Christmas. And I'm like, dang, you going to lay me off right before Christmas? I got kids. And so I get laid off, and my mom just moved to Atlanta. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to come to Atlanta. 30
Mm.
days later, I packed my kids up, and we moved to Atlanta. And never took never took that equipment out of the boxes. It stayed in the garage until I got here.
Wow.
So when I got here, I'm like, okay, I'm in Atlanta. I don't know nobody. I'm just in this house with my kids. And so I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me just take this stuff out the box and just figure it out, right? Took it out. I used my daughter as a model,
Mm.
taking her pictures, swapping her clothes out. And so then one day I was like, you know what? I need to learn this from somebody. So let me reach out to Derek. So I reached out to Derek, and he emailed me back right away and was like, hey, can you come in for an interview? And I was like, yeah, like, do you know who you are, sir? You're Derek Blanks. Like, I was like, yes. So I was like, okay. So I went to the interview, showed him my work. It sucked, but I only had like my daughter in there.
Mhm.
And so he brought me on as an intern. And once I did the internship, I probably interned with him for maybe about a year, no pay. Now, mind you, I'm in Atlanta, no money.
Wow.
No, I had to find, like, I knew one lady from back home. I would drop, my kids off so she can watch them. But other than that, I have no money coming in. So I don't
And by
even,
this time, your son was born
my
too.
son was born, so yes. So I do have a son. He was born by that time. And yeah, had no money coming in. So I'm interning for free. So that's why when people be talking about interning and, not wanting to intern because they want to get paid, up front. And it's like sometimes you may have to go in and do what you need to do to learn the skill that you want to learn
Yeah.
before the money comes. And so for a whole year of me just watching him, studying him, I'm going home like, okay, he put this lighting setup like this. Now let me try it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm literally in the trenches, broke, car got repoed,
Wow.
you know what I mean, during this time. And I'm like, but I was so gun ho on learning how to do this skill of photography. I did not want to go back to my 9 to 5 job or even apply for a job at that time. I just knew that this was something that I was really, really trying to do. And that's kind of fast forward like the story behind of like how I truly got into doing photography.
So you said something that I'm so glad you said. You said that when you started, you sucked.
Oh, I did.
And something that so many people struggle with pivoting
Mm-hmm.
because they can't take sucking. They
Mm-hmm.
can't take it takes a lot of humility to shift gears, go
Yeah.
into another industry and start at the bottom.
Yeah.
And as somebody who has also pivoted, I've pivoted in different sectors of entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people struggle, especially if you're smart.
Yeah.
There's like this idea that because I've done well in this space, as soon as I walk over here, I need to walk over here on the same level.
And don't
And
worry like
that's
that.
not how pivoting goes.
Mm-mm.
Like you have to have the courage and the patience to allow yourself to suck, to start from the bottom. And I love that, and this was something that I knew. And part of the reason why I really wanted you to share this, I knew that, when you started out, you went and interned somewhere that you weren't getting paid.
No.
And
most people would have stopped.
Right.
Honestly, most people that intern in a capacity of in the creative space, they don't last.
Right.
The rotation is like this. You know what I'm saying? Because they want the money. And I get it. You got bills and all of that, but then there's a sacrifice there that you gotta have. You gotta be able to sacrifice some things. I got my car repoed.
Yeah. But your return on that season has been,
let me tell you.
Yeah.
And that was the most
probably more than you ever thought you would make.
Honestly, I didn't even know you could make this much money doing photography.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there watching the people, wheel the car away, and I'm embarrassed. Sat with Derek, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we got to shoot on location. We could just use Drea car. We could put I'm like, sorry, I don't have that car anymore.
It's in the shop.
I know. I told him, I was like, no, that was a lease. It was time I had to turn that car back in. You know what I mean? I'm like, I was so embarrassed. But I still stuck to it with a smile on my face every day, 12-hour days, trying to figure it out. Most people, honestly, that I know who have younger kids right now, they wouldn't have been able to do what I did. At all.
So let's talk about that. What was the conversation that you had with yourself concerning, okay, hey, I want to do this. This is a dream of mine. I have kids. I have responsibility. But how did you make sense of going into this internship for a year with no pay, knowing that you had responsibility? A lot of people struggle with that because they feel like their biggest obligation as a parent is to their child. And it's so many mothers, and fathers too.
Yeah.
Miserable, hate their career, hate, the space that they're in. They might hate where they live, whatever, but they feel like I can't stop this because I have children.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with the duality of that where you do have responsibility, but also you made a sacrifice to give your children a life? You know what I'm saying? That, they live a great life now. How did you...
Girl, my daughter be like, my mom is rich. I'm like, girl, don't be going around school.
Mom was like, oh, my car was a lease.
I'm like, my kids think I got all the money in the world, child. Yeah. I'm glad they think that.
Yeah.
Because they never had to go without. But I don't know. When I say, honestly, during that time, I had joined Dream Center. And that faith just went up. I was just like, no, he gonna have me. He got me. He ain't gonna let me fail. I felt like he instilled in me this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of I had to go through this journey to try to figure out okay, is this really what I'm supposed to do? And I know it is.
Yeah.
Because I never went without. I didn't have no money coming in.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And it's and I'm sitting here happy to go in that studio to assist. You know what I mean? That's why I'm technically when I think of it now, I'm like, dang, I'm a little people pleaser. But that's just my career. That's just what I am. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. But it's it really helped me become this driven, I just feel like my strength just increased. I feel me saying I want to do something. I'm bad with it now, but during that time, if I say no, I want to be this photographer, there was nothing nobody could tell me.
Yeah.
That would have. And back in Virginia, that was so you working with him for free?
Yeah. And I was going to ask
you doing. I let some of them friends go because I was like, I get it. You're still in your 9-to-5. You're not going to understand what I'm trying to do with my life right now.
Right.
So I can't have you coming in my ear trying to stray me away from what I know I'm meant to do. But guess what? Them suckers right now, though. Them suckers right now.
Right.
They oh my God, I'm so proud of you, Drea.
Right,
Oh my
and
God.
that's how
You
it
know,
goes.
and it's like,
That is how it goes. I can absolutely I can attest to being from a small town
mm-hmm.
where people have a very limited idea on what's possible,
Yeah.
you know, and dealing with that struggle of like, I have this dream, I have this vision. I know without a shadow of a doubt God is going to do what he's shown me he's going to do,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm having to deal with these people around me that are like, you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I shared I believe on the pilot, like every pivot I've made, people thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
Every single pivot. You know, when I stopped doing hair, people thought I was crazy.
Yeah.
Then, you know, getting to this space. And, you know, I really appreciate, like, when I shared with you, you know, that I was closing and that, you know, I had all these other things that I wanted to do. You were very supportive of that. But that's because we speak the same language. You know, and you have to know who you can talk to during times of pivots. Because if you're looking for support, like 9 times out of 10, you know, people are not going to understand it, especially if you're walking away from something sure, like being in the IT field. You know what I'm saying?
I was making some good money.
Yeah, and some people are like, well, you photographer, why would you want to do that? You know, that's not sure money, you know, whatever else. So I think that's something that's so like key, and that keeps a lot of people from launching out, like that small town mentality. So
wait a minute, there was one other thing I done totally forgot during this time. What I was doing something else during this time too.
okay.
So when I started interning with Derek, I also became. Do you know Demetria McKinney?
The girl from Tyler Perry.
Yes.
Yes.
I became her personal assistant and road manager. So I was doing Demetria McKinney. I was on the road with her. Then I would come back because this is around a time where she had just finished filming Real Housewives of Atlanta. And so I became her personal assistant. And then she went on tour with R. Kelly.
It's okay. I still, you know,
But
unpopular opinion.
Listen.
If R. Kelly got out and had a concert, I'm sorry, y'all would go.
Listen. You ain't got a body, yaddy, yaddy. Listen.
I'm sorry.
Look,
sorry, not sorry.
It was definitely
Robert and R. Kelly, you know, Robert got some issues he got to work through, but I still love R. Kelly. Okay.
Come on
go
now.
ahead.
But yeah, so I was doing a tour with her because during that time she became very like busy. So, but again, I wasn't making money with that. You know, but I was still like, this is going to set me up for something. I know it is. Like, I'm not doing this for nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm literally doing both of those things, you know? And the only reason why I was able to do that was because my mom lost her job.
Wow.
Me and my mom, we was living literally next door. Like, hey, like we lived next door. We was in a townhouse. And so she ended up losing her job. So she ended up moving out of her townhouse and came in and moved with me. And she was able to be at the house with my kids or whatever. So when I tell you that lady support me.
Yeah.
Like, and never once did she be like, you got to go get a job. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She never once said that. And so, but yeah, I was doing both of those things at the same time.
Shout out to supportive mothers.
Let me tell you something. Because think about it. I have no family in Atlanta.
Yeah.
None. My mom is here. Now, there was moments where she moved for jobs, but I have no family here. I have no cousins, uncles, nothing. So it was just literally me.
Yeah.
And I didn't even have, like, I was building friendships, but not to the point where I felt comfortable saying, hey, Jay, can you watch my kids? Right. I got to go do this shoot real quick. Like, no. And that's when, so after I got done with Derek, I'm not going to say why I got done with Derek. I'm not going to say it. But when I got done with Derek, I then had to figure it out. So that's when I started shooting in my apartment. And so, because I'm like, now people going to start coming to my house to shoot. You know, by this time I started my magazine. So I'm like, ugh, that's kind of embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? Like, now they got to come.
It's humble beginnings.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, sometimes you just got to start.
You got to start.
When you first start off, the first episode might be trash. The first product drop
The
might be
first
trash.
season might be trash.
You know, like seriously. Like I remember when I first launched my boutique, I tell this story all the time. I put $2,500 into my first run of inventory. This was in 2014. My first run of inventory was terrible. And I launched out and I made $47 in my whole first month of business.
After investing the 25.
And that was just on product. I had done other stuff, but I'm at least $3,000 in. In the first month of my business, I made $47. But truth be told, the product sucked.
Yeah.
You know, the sizing was off. Like, it just wasn't good.
Yeah.
And I think back to that all the time. And I think about how so many people would have been like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Let me go get a job.
Right. Or being at that space where like, dang, I'm having to shoot in my apartment. You know, dang, I'm really not making no money yet. Like a lot of people just don't have the courage and the wherewithal to push through that space. But all of this is on the other side of that. But there's no way around that.
But then it's like when you're in that moment, you don't know that. You just gotta believe that it's that.
Yeah.
Lord, I know you. It got to be something on the other side of this.
Yeah.
I didn't want people in my house.
Yeah.
You know, but my whole living room was literally my equipment and stuff. So with 2 kids in an apartment, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, man, like how long this is going to last, you know, until one day I was like, okay, I need a studio space because I need my house to be back my house again. I need the kids to be able to run around and, you know, be kids, you know what I'm saying? And I don't touch that, don't move, my lights and my camera. Even to this day, they know not to touch, you know, cameras. I don't care what's out there. Apartment, like don't touch this stuff. And so after that I went and I looked at this one studio space and I was like, they was like, it's $1,300. I'm like, $1,300. I don't know if I get people. When I did start renting spaces out, it was like I never made money because it was like, you know, people be late.
Overhead.
You know, people be late. So it's like, okay, it's a 2-hour shoot. I only need a space for 2 hours. But then if they late, that eats in that 30 minutes. 2 hours I don't already paid for, which I didn't tell you that I paid for that space. Now it's like, okay, now we still got to shoot 2 looks.
Right.
So now I got to get a studio space 2 extra hours, you know? So the money wasn't adding up. So it was like, am I going to be able to really afford getting a studio space? But I did it. I went and got the studio space with $1,300 and I was like, okay, now how am I to make this money? But it seemed like the moment I got that studio space,
Praise you, Drea.
girl, the moment I got that studio space, do you know who the first person that I shot in a studio space with nothing in there?
Who?
Brandy's mama.
Wow.
Vaughn hit me up and was like, hey, Drea, can you shoot some headshots of Miss Norwood? I was like, who is Miss Norwood? He was like, Brandy's mama. I was like, my studio not even open yet. And he was like, do you have lights in there? I said, yeah. He was like, that's all we need, lights, and come on. And I was like, okay. And she came in, and at first, you know, I gave the whole, I'm sorry, I just moved into this studio space, like literally ain't even open yet. And she was like, no, it's okay. And I did her headshots. The first person I shot in there.
Wow.
It's Brandy's mama.
So who was the person, or not necessarily who was the person, but what was the point that you got to where you're like, not I've arrived, but like, wow, like I'm really like doing this now?
You know what? I don't know if there's like any person. I feel like I felt like that during a time where my calendar for the month was like booked. I'm having in a week, I'm having 10 shoots or more in a week. You know what I mean? Where it's like that one year you making $250,000?
Yeah.
What? Taking pictures?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was the moment I'm like, wow, like this is really my life right now. Like, people really love what I do. So I think it was more so of looking at the overall versus it being an actual like person, you know?
So after you build this career in photography and the creative juices are inside of you and you're like, I have this business idea. Here we go. Pivot again. How did we get Rebel home?
Ooh, that's my baby. That's my baby.
Smells
So,
amazing, by the way.
so the feeling came prior to the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, I was like, I want to make candles. And so I reached out to this girl. She's actually, hey, Keita girl. She's actually in Houston. And someone introduced me to her, and she had this really good candle brand. And so I was like, hey, can you help me, start my candle business? And she was like, yeah. So she kind of helped me jumpstart, because I didn't know how to make the candles or anything like that, but she literally taught me. And that's the other thing too. Sometimes you'll meet people that's doing what you want to do and they don't want to help. They want to gatekeep. This girl did not do any of that. And she had a successful candle business. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that she even was like, I'll tell you where I get my candles from. I'll tell you where I do this. I'll tell you. And she told me the whole blueprint on how to start this candle line. And I appreciate her for that. But then when the pandemic hit, friend, we was in the house.
Right.
I was at that kitchen table and I'm over here just mixing all kinds of stuff up. I'm like, smelling. And so by the time we were able to open back up, I want to say I had about 20 cents that I made. I went back into the studio, and for a whole 2 months, you were one of the people.
Oh yeah, I did.
You were one of the people.
It.
So I
told you I'm her favorite.
You were one of the people. I literally made everybody I shot and whoever that came with them.
Yeah, because
smelled
August of 2020 was when I turned 30.
Yep. And I had everybody to smell all of the scents, and I had them to mark down which ones they like. And so that's how I was able to narrow down the top 4 scents. And to be honest with you, I don't know if you remember this, but when I was thinking of the name, do you remember when we was in the studio and I was thinking of the name?
I do. I don't remember what the other one was.
Well, let's just say when I was thinking of the name, I knew I wanted Rebel in it because I had my Rebel lifestyle from the magazine. And I was like, I know I want Rebel in it. You were actually the one that said home.
Honor me. Come on. Lift your voice.
You were the one.
Come on. Wait, hold on. Say it again.
So J.Renee was the one that
all
actually
the glory.
named.
Come on. Lift me up. Lift me up. Come on. I'm worthy.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You definitely.
I forgot about that.
You did. It was right after your photo shoot. And I was like, I need a name. I knew when to do Rebel. You
I
was
be
like,
trying to
home,
tell people I'm
home.
smart, but, you know.
You should actually get into, like, marketing and branding for others.
I don't know if I had the patience to do that.
But it could be like a VIP service for only VIP clients. And not for everybody. It's only for the VIPs.
Yeah, I got to pray about that. I don't know if I got the patience.
Okay. So, but yeah, that's how Rebel Home came about. And, and I, So I did bring Rebel home with me.
Yes. And I love smell good.
So I brought the Rebel.
This is the one I love.
Mm-hmm.
Oh and God, it smells so good.
And I bought the spray.
And these are Woodwick. And I remember when I got mine, and I was like, Drea, I need another candle. Mm-hmm. What's happening?
Mm-hmm.
So this is a great place to kind of toss out. Or let me put it like this. So a lot of people struggle with, let's position this here. A lot of people struggle with dealing with the pressure and the naysayers and the feedback of people who don't want you to pivot outside of what you're already good at. Mm-hmm. And we talked about this in the last episode, how, it takes another level of courage to say, yes, I've done this, I'm successful in that, but there's also more to me.
Yeah.
So did you struggle with like, I don't know if I want to do this because people are going to be like,
Nope.
oh, aren't you a photographer?
Nope.
You know, now you're making candles. Like, did you
No.
deal with that at all?
No. I never thought that because I just looked at it like this is an extension of me.
Mhm.
Like, you may not know that I love candles and scents and perfumes and all that type of stuff. I know, long as I know that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I feel like I don't care if I want to do candles today, if I want to be a basketball player tomorrow. Like, go for it.
I love that.
Like, go for it.
I need that.
You need to also just make sure you have people in your corner that is on that same type of time.
Mhm.
So I lost a lot of friends during this journey.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not because of any one particular thing. It's just that sometimes you just really have to surround yourself with like-minded people, or if they're not even in the field that you're in, people who are just going to root for you.
Yeah.
And the ones that are not rooting for you, or it's always, well, what do you think about this? Well, why don't you do this? No. I don't need you in my corner being that type of person.
So when I first moved here, we talked about this. And honestly, it's still been like a struggle for me because like most of my really close friends are back home.
Yeah.
And my friends that I felt like this is like my tribe, like these are people who are entrepreneurs and, you know, these things. Like when I left Nashville, I struggled moving to Atlanta and finding like-minded people. Like I've told you, I think you're one of my only full-time entrepreneur female friends. Like it's very few.
Yeah.
And so I've struggled with that. So like, you know, and when we had this conversation, you were like, really? Well, all my friends are full-time entrepreneurs. So how did you find your people?
I don't think, well, you also got to think too, I'm in a different world than you.
Right.
Right. So in my world, I'm always around the same people or the same type of people. I'm always around a makeup artist, always around a hairstylist, always around a stylist, you know, or the client. So all of my friends are in that because we're around each other so much. We tend to bond. We going through the same things with clients. We going through the same things with trying to market and brand because it's along the same line. Now I do know, like in the fashion world, boutique world, you know what I mean? Even sometimes in makeup world or hairstylist world, there's no collaboration and there's no friends like in those type of industries, which I don't understand that because I have a lot of people that I talk to in my world of photography. A lot of people don't even know, but I talk to a lot of people in photography. Yeah. You know, or I call them and, you know, we talk about the same things and stuff like that. But a lot of my friendships came from the work that I do. Now, granted, there was I don't know who it was. I wish I could remember who it was. But when I first started, it was a makeup artist at the time. And I remember she telling me, she was like, don't befriend your clients. And I was like, well, why not? She said, because they're going to ask you to go to lunch. She said, don't do that. Always keep them as your client because then it gets sticky. You know, the relationships gets kind of weird. Like, do I charge them? Do I this? Are they going to look for expect discounts? Da, 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 da. So I always kept it in my mind, but I never felt like that when it came to like the glam, you know? And so most of my friends are glam people.
By the way, she befriended me.
I did.
You know, one day after a shoot, she was like, let's go to Palmdale.
But, and I don't do that often.
But we also had a mutual friend.
Yes.
So our introduction was, I mean, even though I came to work with you, my introduction to you initially was not like.
It was through a friend.
Yeah, it was through a friend. So.
Yeah.
That means y'all other clients don't think that you can slide in.
But guess what? Guess what? Even our mutual friend is in my world. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right. So it's like all my friends are just people that is just attached to my work. I still build friendships with other photographers and stuff like that. I got friends like in LA. I got friends in New York that are my friends.
And that's so important because I always say this. sometimes the greatest asset to you are the people that do exactly what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be so insecure and competitive, willing to open yourself up to other people that do what you do. And also, you know, I've always been of the belief I can learn anything from anybody.
Yeah.
So I don't think that I'm to this or to that, you know, to make those types of connections. You know, I was just telling you, I was in Vegas the other week and I was with one of my good girlfriends from Chicago. She has a store too, you know, and we're able to have those conversations.
Yeah.
My other friend, he owns stores in Chicago. I just didn't have those friends in Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
You know,
So is it basically something about Atlanta?
You know,
people in Atlanta?
Atlanta's a very weird
It
place.
is. It
you know,
is.
People are very pretentious. It's a lot of like, who do you think you are? A lot of pomp and circumstance, you know, and I didn't want to deal with that, you know. So when I really started making friends here, it was because of the fact that I got into the fitness community, you know, and so a lot of the, you know, people that we know, you know, I met those people because of the fact that like we all worked out together.
Yeah.
But as far as having those types of like, girl, let's talk about it, you know, I've honestly been on an island by myself with that since I've been in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something, and that's just honesty, you know. So I know a lot of people struggle with that, but even in this season of me being and doing, you know, I haven't allowed that to stop me.
Yeah.
You know, and I even had to go through a space where I had to kind of start to venture out and get back into the stuff that I love.
Yeah.
Go the places I love, do the things that I love, and really focus on what my goals are, even though the people around me are not thinking anything about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know? And people struggle with that. We want somebody on our arm to be like, come on, friend, let's do it together.
Yeah.
You know, come on, let's build these businesses together. Come on, let's shoot content together. You know, I got a group chat. One of my friend group chats, they call me the mom of the group chat because every week I'm like, okay, guys, we're shooting content. We doing this, we doing that. And you know what? I had to realize, look, their desire for this is not the same as mine.
yours.
You know, I'm the one that's at a pivot. I'm the one that's launching into a new space. This is not the same for them.
Yeah.
You know, so I've had to just be okay doing stuff on my own. And I am where I am today 100% because I've never been afraid to do stuff on my own.
Yeah.
And I didn't allow the lonely seasons or the slower seasons to be the things that stopped me. So, and you know, even with us eventually over time developing a relationship, it just speaks to the fact that God will send your people along the way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was years before we actually started to like, I mean, you probably played nice with all your clients, but you know,
I'm the sweetest
But
person.
the crazy thing is, you'll be so nice, you'll have full-fledged conversations, and then you'll meet somebody again, and they be like, "Oh, you shot me." You be like, "Really? Would I do that?"
Okay, but you know what? I do now. In the beginning, I will remember every client in the beginning.
Yeah, it's probably all running together.
Now I be like, I feel so bad when somebody be like, I be like, hey, how you doing?
And I've seen you do it,
and
you keep the same giggly voice, like just like y'all. So when we just came into the podcast shoot today, we just came into the shoot. Drea walks in like, hey, and Giles, we call you the producer. What do we call you? Okay, and our director producer Giles. Shout out to who is Giles? That's his name on Instagram. Is it? Who else but Giles? It's okay. Okay. But anyways, Drea comes in. He's nice talking. And Drea's like, hey, how you doing? He was like, hey, you know, we've met before. She's like, really? Where would I have met you at? Really? Oh. Yeah, and he's like telling her all these different times they've interacted. Really? Who was I with? Was I on the stage? I remember Drea shot one of my friends for her maternity shoot. And I remember she was like, after the shoot, she was like, it was so encouraging because, you know, Drea just really talked to me as a single mother. And, you know, I had a moment where I was wiping those tears. And, you know, Drea was just Drea. Press the fast forward. Drea run into her later. She's like, hey, nice to meet you. Drea did not remember. Drea did not remember at all.
I did. Because people, let me tell you why. People look different once they get glammed up.
They do, but
then when I mean,
that mind just slipping just a pinch.
I
It's
think
okay.
I
Everybody
don't
has
know.
to have a flaw. But the point is
That
you're
is
nice
mine.
about it
Oh yeah, I'm definitely nice
and you're
about it.
consistent.
I'm so
You're no
consistent.
respecter of persons.
I don't pretend like I know you.
Yeah. And you put on
I'm
the
like,
same
when
voice.
I do that shoot?
See the voice.
When I do that shoot?
When I meet you.
Oh, shit, girl,
Where I know you
It's been so many people out of shot. I just can't even remember them all. I be like, Lord have mercy.
That is so
I feel
funny.
so bad when that happens because it's like I'm supposed to remember.
Yeah.
But those are a lot of faces. Like
It is. But you know,
and
I get it.
And I don't go. I think people think that we go back and we be looking at the pictures, and I'm like, it's like for me, it's like once I do your shoot and I send you the link, I don't look at your pictures no more.
Yeah.
Then you'll send me the picture back saying, "Hey, I want you to edit this." I say, "Okay," I edit it and I send it back.
And that's it.
Yeah, then I run into you about 5-6 years later. You like, no, I don't remember that. Like it's because it's like I don't sit and I don't be just hounded on like just pictures. Like I don't.
Well, either way, the point is Drea's a nice person. She just
I think I'm too nice sometimes, actually.
Are you?
Oh yeah. I'm too nice. But that's naturally just me.
Yeah.
I've always been told that even as a kid. Like I was always the favorite in the family.
I can
Can't
see
you tell?
that.
Can't you tell? I was always a favorite. I was just people hated it. People still hate it to this day. But
So as we wrap this up, what would you say to somebody who's on the verge of a pivot, somebody who's in your shoes, somebody that's from a place where they've never seen what they want to become, somebody that has responsibility, the single mom, and they feel like that is keeping them from really launching out? What would you say to them?
it's hard because I just feel like times are just different now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I would never like now tell somebody quit your job and just no, don't do that. Don't do that. Hold on to that job as long because now we're at a place where we as creatives are looking, do we need to get a job?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so times are just so different now. So, I would probably say really just I don't want people to ever give up on their dream. You know what I'm saying? But there has to be a way for you to be able to accomplish them both. Take care of your family and do the things that you love. It may not be at the capacity of what you want to do it as, but you got to take those baby steps that can probably lead up to that. Because for me, this is what I was going to tell you. So for me, like I mentioned acting, right?
Oh, you're acting now?
I mentioned
and see.
I'm just saying, I mentioned acting to you, right?
Yeah.
And I explored that, because I'm like, do I really want to do that? Do I not want to do that? But then just 3 weeks ago, an opportunity presented itself that just came out of nowhere for me to start doing some acting. You know what I mean? I recently did a few skits on Country Wayne.
Oh, yeah. You didn't tell me about that.
It's baby steps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not sitting here saying, oh God, I'm about to just quit photography. I'm about to say, bump these kids and I'm about to just go and be an actress. No, there's baby steps to it. And I think you have to really look at the steps that you need to take to get to where you want to go, but don't just dive deep.
Yeah.
Now is not the time to dive deep. You got to be a little bit smarter now.
Yeah.
Because everybody changing up right now. Everybody's trying to figure out what their next is. Everybody's trying to figure out what the pivot is for what they're doing because work is different.
Yeah.
Us getting work is different. Us selling clothes is different.
Everything is different.
Everything is just different now. So you just got to be just a little smarter. Even if somebody do say, I want to be an actress, you know what? Maybe you turn on that camera and you start doing skits in your house. You know what I'm saying? But there's ways that you can go and accomplish certain things You just got to really, truly plan it out now.
Yeah. I think the two sentiments that I feel like are recurring with your story is number one, pivoting is a journey.
It is.
It's not necessarily a moment.
Mm-mm. It's not a jump.
Yeah, it's literally like a take a turn and keep walking, you know? And people can't be afraid of the journey. It may not look the same for everybody, and there may be steps that you don't necessarily want to take. You may find yourself doing things that you didn't necessarily want to do. You know, I was saying, you know, now I've become a whole beauty influencer on TikTok. You know, I never saw myself doing that, but I'm enjoying it. You were a road manager, like, but all of that is a part of the pivot, you know, and don't be afraid of the journey. It's all steps towards, you know, where you're going. And also, like, evolution is a continuing process. As a creative, you don't have to say, this is what I do, this is what I'm good at, I'm never going to do anything again.
Yeah.
You know, have the courage to still be like, you know what? I love scents. I love candles. You know, let me take my skill and my talent and still exercise in this space. Hey, I can sing. Let me make a single. You know, I love, and I don't even think I realized fully all the different things you've done when I asked you to do this. But I mean, as you've been talking, I was like, oh yeah, this was good.
Because we didn't talk about My Brand is Black.
We didn't talk about okay, what? Tell us about My Brand is Black before you go.
So, let me hit one thing on the journey thing that I was literally thinking about just now. I feel like people need to understand that it's like a GPS.
Yeah.
Me coming here, I didn't take the highway, you know, because it was traffic. It took me along these other roads, right? But guess what? We all still ended up here.
Right.
So sometimes you may see somebody else and their journey may took them on the highway and then it got them straight there. But yours may have to take some extra turns and corners, and you know, you may have to go the long way to get to your destination, but eventually you're going to end up at the same place. You know what I mean? Eventually, you know, but My Brand is Black just really started based off of Rebel Home because I wasn't selling, because I wasn't marketing. I wasn't marketing, so I wasn't selling. So one day I was talking to my friend Jeremy, and his partner, Mark, you know, has a clothing brand. And so he called me and was like, hey, Jeremy told me that you want to do a pop-up. And I was like, yeah, I said, yeah, let me and you could just do a pop-up. You know, we can invite all of our friends out so they can support our business. So as we were planning it, we realized there were so many of our friends that had products. So we just called all of them, was like, hey, y'all want to do a pop-up? Okay, cool. You want to do the pop-up? Cool. And so that first pop-up was a huge success beyond what we even thought it was going to be. And so now it's more so we having small business owners in Atlanta that have their products that they want to sell, but they need a space to do it in. So we actually bring them together ever so often. Now it's more on a quarterly basis, but we bring them together so they can sell their product. And the thing about it is, for me and Mark, we don't really make a lot of money doing it, but we love the feeling that we see other people selling their products.
Yeah.
A lot of these people don't have millions of followers. They don't have thousands of followers, but we're bringing people in so they are able to sell and make money. You know what I'm saying? Or you at least tell somebody about your product. But then at some of our pop-ups, we do have some celebrities that come through. Some of our clients may come through that's going to support them, and that brings a huge smile on their face. You know what I'm saying? They see Pretty V walking up and they're like, oh my God, like, because they may not necessarily have the space to meet these people to tell them about their brands or their business, you know? So My Brand is Black is what it is. So now people are hiring us when they're having events to provide vendors for their events now.
Yeah.
We did change church. Shout out. Sorry. Look, shout out. But no, like, and so we got maybe like over 30 vendors for them for their conference. to sell there. And everybody sold. Everybody did extremely well, So hopefully we take it on the road. Or
Yeah, I love
hopefully,
that.
we do other things with My Brand is Black. But I love the name.
Yes.
I love the name.
Shout out to My Brand is
It's
Black.
black.
Yes. I love that. And I pray that everybody that's watched today, I hope you guys see that you don't have to just be one idea, one career, one facet. And then also, it's okay to say, this was good, but I still want more.
Yeah.
And that's what this podcast is really about. Not putting limitations on what you believe you can have, what you believe is possible. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what you think is stopping you. It doesn't matter what you've done and what you've accomplished in one space. You can still say, hey, I want more.
I want more, yeah.
I want it all.
I want it all back.
Every
I just wanted to say that this whole time.
Every time people bust out singing songs about I want it all, it's a different one. Whole time, I'm like, I want it all. That's the song I'm thinking about.
It's that time.
I'm thinking about.
Back. Give me my stuff back. Hey,
I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking like Warren G.
I want it all. See?
No, I want it all.
Oh.
Brand new socks and drawers.
See, you always try to be crunk.
I want it all.
I want it all.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure. Make sure, where can people connect with you?
So you can connect with me at Drea Nicole Photography on everywhere. And if you want to purchase my candles, you can go to rebelhome.co. And if you want to learn more about My Brand is Black, mybrandisblack.co. What else I got?
Everything, all the things. If they follow you, they're going to connect with all the things.
All the things, Drea. All the things,
It's
Drea.
been such a pleasure. We're going to bring you back and have some more girl
Because
talk.
we didn't even talk about the men.
No, we got to get into the men's. Because, me and Drea are a good time. Like, we're really a good time. Funny thing, random, just little whatever. I was interviewing for a reality show, and they ended up asking me, like, what are some other entrepreneurs that you can, like, bring on the show? I'm like, Drea.
Drea.
This will be good. Yeah, so we're definitely going to have Drea back. Over the course of the season, I made it a point to just leave this open to where I can bring in J.Renee and friends. I know some amazing people. I'm so honored to know you, Drea. I love you to death.
Thank you.
And we're definitely going to have her back. So make sure you subscribe, share this, like. If you're watching, let me know. Hit me on Instagram. Let me know, what did you think of the episode? And just remember, you can have it all. See you next time.
I want it all back.
I want it all.
See, I'm not-